Hey everybody, it's Tony the Blacksmithing Gamer, and we are back again with another Sunday build. This week we are making the wiring puzzle from Among Us. Let's get started. I'll show you how we made it. Alright, so we have the first part of the wiring puzzle from Among Us printed. Let's go over to the 3D printer and check it out. Alright, so we just took it off of the 3D printer. We're going to wire it up, show you how that all wires up, so that you can make your own wiring puzzle if you wanted to, and stay tuned. Alright, so I'm taking off the support material for the wire puzzle from Among Us, and I just realized it shifted. So that's what happens when it shifts. It's supposed to be flat. Looks like it might have caught here or something, but I'm gonna still make it work. Obviously, if it shifts for you, you can just reprint it. Honestly, you could make this out of cardboard too. I like 3D printing, so I 3D printed it. But let me get this part off and we'll show you the wiring side of things, alright? Alright, so we're back out to the shop. It's starting to get colder, so the sweater's coming on. Yeah, we got the wiring puzzle for Among Us. We're gonna paint it so it looks a little bit more metallic, and then we'll wire it up, show you how that all works. Let's paint this up. So I got the LEDs here. I just bought this kit off of Amazon or eBay. It wasn't very expensive. It just has a whole bunch of different colors of LEDs. I will leave a link to that in the description below if you need it, along with the 3D print files. Honestly, you could usually get this stuff pretty cheap at your local electronics store. But if you have any troubles, try on Amazon, try on eBay. eBay you'll probably have to wait a little bit longer because it's as usual made in China, so it needs to come over and it usually takes a pretty long time. Sorry for the noise in the background. I am printing next week's project. I couldn't finish it before this week, but for the wire, all I'm using is some Cat 5e. If you don't know what this is your regular internet cord. So if you have an extra one or one that's broken, that's lying around, you can always chop off the ends and use this one. So how this guy works is you have a few different color strands inside. And with these guys, we can make our wiring for our wiring puzzle. So you'll see they're different colors, which is perfect for what we need. So let's get these guys out of the jacket and we'll start wiring them up to here. I'll be using a hot glue gun to glue them into place, and we'll show you how it's all wired up. Let's go. We got the wires out of the Cat 5e cable. What we're going to do for color purposes, I think I'm going to get rid of the white cables. So there's green white, there's blue white, orange white, brown white, and I think I'm going to get rid of all those guys because I like just how the solid colors work. And so I'm just going to untwist these basically and just get the solid colors ready to go for the wiring side of things. Alright, so I have a fancy, handy dandy fancy DC power supply, and with that I could basically simulate batteries. On an LED we have two leads, and one is called an anode and one is a cathode. Negative is black, positive is red. The longer one is the positive one. So as you can see, oh, I just popped it. So as you can see, it lit up. I cranked the voltage a little too high on it. Yeah, I popped it. So mental note, lower that, and let's get another one. So we got LED lit up, 2 volts. Let's hook up a bunch of them in series. Well, it's going to be parallel and series in this case, because we want each circuit to work individually and light up individually. So let's get to it. I'll show you how the wiring circuit looks like. Okay, so we have the basic one side of the circuit ready to go. Let me show you how it looks. So this is where the power comes in. This could be either a power source like I have, or also known as a battery. Red is positive, black is negative. And so if you follow this line going that way, you'll see that the red goes to this guy. This is going to be our lead on the front that we're going to be joining together, and wherever we connect it, you'll see that it lights up. So depending on where you connect it, that's where it's going to light up. And then it goes through a resistor. That's pretty much just so you don't burn these guys out, and comes back to the negative source back here. So these two lines go out that way, these two here, and then these go across each one here. So separated here, this one, for example, lights that one up, this one lights that one, and so on and so forth. So we're going to have two sets of these guys, and it's all going to come back through a resistor on the other side, which is, I'm going to stick them all on the back here. Unfortunately, the back didn't print as good because of the shift, but it'll be hidden anyway, and you get the idea. Okay, so this is the next step of the circuit. So just like before, the positive comes in on this side here. If you follow the row down to the left, here, I'll use up a better pointer here. If you follow this row here, it goes to this wire here, which goes around and to this LED. So the positive, it comes in from this wire and then goes to this blue wire, which goes the current goes here and flows up to this LED up here, flows through the LED, comes back to the resistor and back to the negative side. Now, my power source actually says that there's no current, which is weird. Anyway, 4 volts. That's double what it was for 1. So I won't go into the math of it, but just be aware you're going to have the correct voltage for all your LEDs. The different LEDs use different voltages, so you'll have to look those up. If you don't know what they are, take a look. This should give you a little bit of insight. And so, if I go to the different points, different ones light up. And if I stick that in there, and if I go down the line on this side, the other side lights up. See that? So, now time to transfer this over to this guy. Okay, so what I've done here is I have separated, it's kind of hard to see, but I've separated the anode and the cathode, which means I've separated the positive and the negative side of each LED, and I've basically put the positive side on the outside or the top here, and the negative on the bottom side. I kind of had to switch these two around. So what I'm going to do is going to make attachment points on each with a soldering gun, and I'm going to solder on just some random wire that I had the other side of these guys that I took from the internet cable there. And so yeah, let's get to soldering. Alright, so now I'm going to take the colors that I want showing on the front. I'm going to snip a little piece off of that, cut those there. So now I have a bunch of these, and I'm going to set them up, color coordinate them to the other side of the LED. So the one side, the positives all on this side. So the positives on this side are all wired up, and the negatives are all wired up on this side. So next I'm just going to take these little pieces, connect them to the other side of the LEDs, and feed them through to the other side of the board. Let's get to it. Okay, so now that we've gotten these guys pulled through, we're just going to attach all the ends on each side and hook them up to the power supply. So whether you use a battery, one of these fancy gadgets that I got, DC power supplies, just make sure to be very aware and safe. Don't be sticking any of this into any power outlets or anything like that that could harm you. DC is batteries, so just stick to batteries. If you know, you need an adult, speak to an adult. Make sure you know what you're doing. Don't be playing with electricity if you aren't comfortable with it at all. Okay? Alright, so we got it all set up for a test run. Let's set it up, or let's test it out to make sure the lights are actually turning on. Looks like they're all working. So if at this point it's not working for you, you might have your power supply turned around. So put your negative to your positive and your positive to your negative. And don't forget to put in that little resistor right on the end of one of the leads. That way you're not going to burn out your LEDs. Let's get this all tidied up, and I'm going to super glue the back just to make it look a little bit nicer, organized, and make sure there's no shorts. Let's get this all tidied up and finished up, and then we'll show you how it all looks. I realized I made a mistake on the wiring side of things. Initially, when I wired it up, it was just going to light up both sides once you completed the circuit. But I realized that the whole side on the left is actually always lit, and the side on the right only lights up if you wire it up correctly. So I made some jumpers, which are these guys in the middle. Basically, I jumped from the end of the LED on this side to the side that I'm hooked up to the negative. So I basically just jumped it so that these are always lit up, they always have power, they have both. As soon as you turn it on, these guys light up. So when you turn it on, you get this side lit up, and the other side only lights up once you... Anyway, you get the idea. So all I'm doing here is I'm just filling in some of the holes, making sure there won't be any shorts. Alright, so we made the wiring puzzle from Among Us. It does light up. I don't have it hooked up to my power source right now, but the lights light up. They have LEDs in there. Obviously you can rearrange these wires so they actually are a puzzle, and so opposed to just being straight across in this case. I did put it in a box, and just to show you the back, we do have all the wiring back here as well. So I mostly just hot glued it in place, but you know, obviously you can do the whole if you do the whole 3D print that I provided and it doesn't shift like mine did, it should be able to sit right on top of a 6x6 box here. You can set that on top. You could either drill it on with the screws that it provides for the box itself. There's different kind of boxes, so different kind of screws. Put the battery in there, hook up the power supply however you want to hook it up, and you have a puzzle. So stay tuned. I'm going to be making another Among Us project next week. If you did want to see something in particular, let me know down in the comments below.
Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button down there below. Or if you want to follow me on any of these social media websites, you can get daily updates on the projects I'm working on. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tony, the Blacksmithing Gamer, where every week we're making things from the games we love.